Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to tell you about this podcast. It's called The DK Project, but it's really The Darren Show. The DK Project is a radio show, but without the radio. So sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride.
Let's go!
Welcome back. Welcome back. I wish I could sing that the right way. To the DK Project, episode 116. Just hammering them out, man. I'm telling you, got a busy week of podcasting right here. We got Sergeant Schweitzer on the line, and he is ready to rock and roll, which is good because
I'm getting sexy. I'm getting sexy with the DK. Bring it hard to me today, brother.
Dude, it's early on a Tuesday, and you're getting sexy.
Oh my God, I got all dressed up for this.
You're young.
I'm getting all dressed up for this.
Well, we might have to start putting the video on so people can see your sexiness.
I don't know. We'll
your game
drop
time
views
on,
buddy. We're gonna drop views.
That just ain't gonna work. We might have to start this over. I got a lot to cover this week, man. I tell you, I think I want to start off with the sports corner today, just because. Why not? I didn't watch one baseball game all year. And then I got into that. Nothing? I got into that game 7 of the Dodgers and the Braves.
The Braves.
What a game. What a game. That was pretty cool.
I'm glad you didn't watch the one before that when the Dodgers scored 11 runs in the first inning. You would have shut that off in a second. But yeah, it was a great game. Dodgers, I'm calling them the Devil Rays, because they'll always be the Devil Rays to me. But Rays and Dodgers World Series, bring it back.
How about the Tampa Bay's hockey team winning the Stanley Cup? Tampa Bay's baseball team being in the World Series, and Tampa Bay's hosting the Super Bowl?
Oh, and Brady may be there with it. Yeah, it's Tampa Bay's year, baby.
Speaking of sexy, he looked pretty hot on Sunday. Anytime they can kick a Packer ass, man, I'm in.
So I take it we're not going to talk about your Vikings then?
Oh, what the fuck? They pack the bus, man. That shit is over. Fucking fire the coach. I don't. Did you watch the game?
I did not. I just saw the final score. I laughed because I immediately thought of the DK Project.
Oh my God.
That's what happened there.
You know what it is? It's honestly exactly what I said. Kirk Cousins is not a quarterback. He needs to go and just sit and look at his bank account every day and just ride off into the sunset. 3 interceptions in the first half, and we didn't put the backup in? What is there something in the $30 million clause that says the backup cannot go in unless I lose an appendage? I mean, really, how does he stay in?
It's like marriage now. You're committed. You're in it for the long haul. You just got to take whatever loving you can get. Yeah, I know. Everybody wants a divorce right now.
Get my legal team on the phone. I got to get rid of this mess. Jesus, what a horrible situation. And you know,
it could be bad. I could see it, buddy.
A follow-up to last week when I said every time he drives by Wells Fargo, he's laughing. Well, this week when he goes to Wells Fargo, they're laughing at him. Like, holy shit, dude.
All the girls in the window when he takes a withdrawal out are laughing at him, but at the same time would all want him because he's getting paid.
Well, it's all about the dull arrows. Let me tell you, your Giants got to win. They squeaked one out.
Yeah, I would prefer just to lose from now on. That was pathetic. You know what? You didn't even need to watch that because, I mean, it was just pathetic. It was the fumble recovery for the touchdown. It's like, ooh, we beat Washington, the team with no fucking name to them. Yay.
Yeah, they don't even have a name. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know what? I was driving around onto my next segment. I was driving around this weekend in Colorado. I did a little sneak away kind of a thing, and they're going to have to rename half that state. Like, if we're going to be offended by native names and whatever people that are dead that may have owned a slave, I mean, they might as well just blank that out and call that the white state. You know, just. Well, I guess you can't even say that. Oops.
Nope.
That's an edit.
Oh, racist.
Yeah. What's a neutral name that we could call it? Just the. Buffalo's offensive. I don't know. You can't do Buffalo.
the indigenous people state.
Yeah, but
there you go.
Yeah, but then people like me aren't going to be able to spell it, so we're just going to quit.
Yeah, don't ask me to spell it because I'll get fucked on that one.
I got the wife halfway thinking about loading up the U-Haul. I mean, we are close, brother. We are close. I just have to find a way to generate money from the white state. We'll call it the hilly state. Hillyville. Okay, so here's the setup. We got what we call MEA, which is Minnesota Educators Association. So my kid gets Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off of school. So every year we try to go somewhere. And this year, with everything going on, we're like, let's just sneak away to Colorado, get a little place in the mountains, go out and chase the buffalo. So my daughter's in San Diego, and my other son is in Phoenix. And I called both of them. I'm like, hey, what are you guys thinking about meeting us in Colorado? I'll pay for you to, show up, whatever.
Whoa, big money, huh?
No. It's airfare's so cheap right now. You'd laugh. It's cheap. First time ever, it's cheaper to fly to Colorado than it is to drive. Like, you can't
Thank you, COVID.
Yeah,
finally.
Well, unless you're flying on fucking Frontier, those CSers. Not happy. Whole nother subject. So anyway, we fly out, and the whole time I'm planning this thing where my daughter's going to be at the terminal. When was the last time you walked off a plane and there was somebody at the terminal to meet you? That just doesn't happen.
Oh,
thanks, 9/11.
That's weird. Yeah.
So we set this thing up so that her plane would land, and then she could scurry over and be waiting for us because my wife and my son don't know. And it was like she had to have a connection. She flew from San Diego to Phoenix and then Phoenix to Colorado just so that the timing worked. And I'm like, well, whatever. You're young. You could do a layover.
Deal with it. That's
the beauty of Colorado, man. Hour 30 in the air and you're there. I mean, it's just the greatest place on earth. But anyway, so we land, and I'm like trying to video all this, and sure enough, the daughter's there. Everybody's happy. Everybody. My 14-year-old's like, oh, what's she doing here? You just stole my one-child thunder.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be all about me.
I thought we were going to spoil little me this week. So anyway, we that was fun as hell, and I rented a Jeep, man. Like, I went all Colorado.
Ooh.
And this must have been a 2020 Jeep, because I have I have a 2013 Jeep, and this one was a little nicer. Plus, it got 26 miles to the gallon. They must make that thing with a 4-cylinder. That must be what I had. But I don't know.
Wow.
We had this huge deal planned in the mountains. We went out chasing buffalo and moose, trying to see what we find, and it ended up did some mountains. And this one lady referred me to this trail where, like, we drove for probably an hour off road on like a logging trail or whatever it was in the Jeep. It was kind of cool because you're like, it's a rental. Let's take it to the next level.
Let's beat the shit out of it. Who cares?
Exactly.
I got AAA. They'll come get me.
I ended up only seeing elk on my journey. Only saw some elk. We looked, no bears, no nothing, but they said it's really been slow. With the wildlife.
Maybe the animals have COVID-19 and don't want to come out and wear their mask. Maybe that's the problem.
Well, and I don't know. Hey, speaking of which, I went to the gas station this morning because I got a tidbit on some water with minerals and electrolytes that I had to try. And I walked into my little local gas station, and there was a guy in there without a mask. So I'm like, well, screw it. I'm not wearing a mask then. And I'm in there, and I bet 5 more people came in and out with masks or without masks. There was like 8 people, one mask, in and out. Nobody was there. They weren't all there at the same time, but it was pretty interesting. So anyway, back to my Colorado trip. I planned a fly fishing trip for the kid and I. So we end up going on this fly fishing trip, and it's wading out into the river, the Colorado River, and we're casting for trout and just having a good old time. But I had this medical episode we talked about a little while back, and I used to go fishing all the time for salmon in the river. And I totally lost my train of thought. I totally haven't fished since then in the river, with waders on. So I'm like, whatever. And part of the medical episode is I lost my balance. Like I had to learn to walk again and this kind of shit. And so I'm standing in the river in my waders, and it's like 37 degrees, high wind. And I'm like, fuck, this is crazy. We're casting, having fun and whatever. And sure as shit, fat guy goes over and I like lose my balance, take a sharp rock to the knee, man. I'm telling you. So I'm like laying over, got my fly rod held up. My glasses are half tilted on my head and I'm just soaked with water. And the kid looks over and he's like, what the fuck? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh man, I'm in. So I hopped out, my friggin' boots filled with water. I'm soaked.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So I go up on the shore and the guide's like, oh, what? And I'm like, oh yeah, whatever. It had to happen. So this guide runs back to his car, which had a little bit of everything in his car. And he comes back with one of these native blankets, Indian blanket.
Yeah.
And
Indian.
like hand woven, and then this jacket that would fit him, which would maybe fit my right arm. And I'm standing there, I took my sweatshirt off and as you tuck into your waders, you block the wind so you're okay. And I throw this native blanket on me and it's like, wow, where have these been all my life? It was like I put a heated blanket on. So
nice.
So I'm wearing this thing tucked into my waders and I just went fishing. I didn't dump them or anything. There's a little water in them. I'm surviving. I'm going to lose feeling in my feet soon, so it doesn't even fucking matter.
And you're toughing it through. I like it.
Well, I didn't want to disappoint the 14-year-old. And
yep.
Where we were was down this way where they had like this road that goes down to this area that was private property. And it was like switchbacks to where you had to like turn and then back up to make the rest of the turn. So it wasn't like an easy in, easy out kind of thing. And I didn't have a car. My wife dropped us off and then we just stayed with the guide, So anyway, we fished for about another hour and a half, caught some trout, blah, 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 having fun. But yet, I'm cold. So we moved to this other area and I get this huge hornet's nest of a snarl. So I give it to the guide this guide was super cool. He had just handled everything. And I hand my rod to him. I'm like, can you take a look at this? Cause I can't. I said, I'm going to go over here and sit down and maybe dump some water out of my waders. So I go over and dump the water out of my waders and I pulled my one leg out that had hit the rock. And I'm not shitting you. This thing had a softball on top of it to where I quickly pulled the pants back down. Cause I was like, to cover it because like I couldn't look at it myself. So I'm like, whoa. And the guide looks over and I kind of flash him the softball and he like goes, what? He goes, the last time I saw something like that, there was bone coming out of the leg. It was broken. I'm like, well, it's not broken. I've been walking on it. But I think standing in that cold water kind of like was like putting ice on it.
Yeah.
And I totally like I should have taken a picture of it because it was like I sent you a picture, but that was like a quarter of what it was. Like it was at the point where my muscle, which is not much on the back of my leg, was smaller than the lump on the top of my leg. So
like you had a baby growing out of your leg.
Yes.
The head was coming through.
Have you seen that one? What is it? A Liberty Mutual commercial where that guy's like, I'm really into my calves, or his leg. That's what it looked like. My leg was just like crazy mutant kind of shit. It was weird. But anyway, I forgot to tell you when the guide brought the blanket over and the mini windbreaker, he goes, and there's schnapps in the end of the net handle. I'm like, what? Like I couldn't understand him. I go, oh, schnapps. Okay. So later on in the day, I just kind of blew it off because I wasn't going to take a pull at 9 a.m. I mean, I could have, but whatever. There's COVID. So anyway, later in the day, my kid catches a fish. So I've got the net, and this net is like you could park a car on this net. It's ridiculously thick. I'm like, what the hell, man? This is real. And he goes, yeah. And the end's a flask. That's where the schnapps is. So in the end of the fishing net is full of schnapps. I'm like, no way. So I screw it open and I look in there and I'm like, sure enough, man. Hell yeah.
Should have put a little whiskey in there, keep you
It was
warm.
crazy, but we had a good time. We caught a lot of fish. Then we left there and we went to one of these what do they call them? Sulfur springs or hot springs? Because I've gone to them before in southern Colorado, and real cool, real clean, whatever, Well, this one was a little bit more bodunk, and oh my God, I've never been so fucking grossed out in my life. But you know how you do that? Where you're like, I gotta be cool. I don't want to scare the kid. I don't want the kid to be grossed out because I'm grossed out. So the place doesn't have any changing rooms, so you got to change in the bathroom. And then you go into this hot tub where I'm like, I don't go to these, like if I'm at a hotel, I'll maybe put a leg in the hot tub, but I'm not going in there. It grosses me out. So this thing has 18 sulfur pools that you can go into. And the 14-year-old and I are waiting for the wife and daughter to come out. So we hop in this one right outside the door. And I start looking around and I'm like, whoa, whoa, there's like enough floating stuff in this water to like,
gross.
You could like reskin a body. So I'm like, we should hop in a different one. So we go to this other one, and I think somebody gutted a fish and threw it in there because it looked like a friggin' carcass of a skin laying in there. And I was so grossed out, but I'm holding it together. I'm like, I'm just not going to touch my face. I'm not going to, as long as I keep
don't go under.
Yeah,
don't
leave
go
it all.
under.
Yeah, don't fall over in here, fatty. Luckily, it had a flatter surface on the ground. But we went to, we actually ended up finding one that was somewhat clean and whatever. And I'm like, if anybody comes and tries to join us, I'm just going to show them that monster on my leg, and they'll be like, nah, we're good. I don't want to get in with that. Huge open sore, no good.
You're going to have something fucking growing out of your leg now. I just know it. Here comes another pick on the DK project.
I'm probably going
to Facebook.com.
I'll probably just grow another leg. It'll be a third.
It's like the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where the guy opened up his shirt and all of a sudden he had this baby attached to his chest.
That's what I'm gonna. Yes, that's what I'm gonna get. But we ended up not having to share with anybody, so it was cool. But we ended up, touring around, having a good time. But we rented this log cabin. It was pretty cool. It was actually a little excessive, but it was all that was left. So we drove through the mountains the last day, and the high winds, man, we got up to like 12,500 feet. And, there's no guardrail or nothing. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is scary. Well, we stopped just before we got we probably stopped at 10,000 feet on our way up because there's like a wayside rest thing. And we're getting ready to go. And I look over and there's a guy on a bicycle, like a cyclist. And he had biked to that point, had to take a piss. And then he hops back on the bike and he's headed over the top to the 12,000 feet. So I look over and I'm like, now that's a real man. I mean, really? How do you do that? I'm like, dude, grab the bumper. I mean, come on, I'll pull you part of the way. We won't tell anybody. So he's biking this thing. And we ended up going to Estes Park and, walking around, doing whatever, killed probably 3-4 hours. And we turned around and we're leaving. We're driving out of Estes Park. And this biker is sitting there like reworking his laces on his shoes. I'm like, he made it it's an hour and a half drive. And he made it on a bicycle. Like,
holy shit,
dude, that's a man.
That's like that. Over here in Iowa, they got that big bike ride through the whole state, and those dudes just roll with that kind of crazy shit. I'm all like, nobody wants to do that kind of stuff. I don't want to bike across Iowa. I don't even want to drive across the motherfucker.
Just to clarify, you're rolling at about 700 or 800 feet above sea level there. Level. We started at about, 6,000 feet, and we went up to 12,000 feet and then back down. And I think he was going back. I'm like, dude, just throw your bike in my deal. I can't let you do this. You're going to fall. You're going to get hurt. But anyway, it happened. But then we got back to the crib. This is my total Colorado story here. So we get back to the crib, and the wildfires are so bad that like it smells everywhere you go. Smells like you're in a campfire. It's everywhere. So we're like, well, it seems like it's getting close, and everywhere you look it seems close. Well, then this neighbor lady comes flying up in her Subaru, and I'm just saying, and she's all freaking out. She used to work for the forestry department, and she's like, move the propane tanks, button down the windows, this kind of shit. And I'm like, well, how close is it? And she's like, it's like 7 or 8 miles that way. And I'm like, and the winds there are ridiculous. And the day that she came was a low wind day, and the next day was going to be a high wind day. So they had a pre-evacuation that they had implemented saying, hey, start to pack your shit because it's coming. So I did.
Oh my God.
So I did. So we started talking, and I called the owners of the house, and they were great. It was really a good experience. And then she's like, just leave. She goes, don't stay. She goes, you're not going to sleep. You're going to be worried about it and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, not really. I don't really care. I'm totally comfortable. And
I'm ready for this forest fire. Yeah. I'm ready to do this.
I was like, where's the marshmallow sticks? But I felt so bad because and I couldn't tell you how many times we commented total devastation, horrible for these people. I felt so bad. But on the other hand, you're like, God damn, this is actually pretty cool. This is a big fire, and it's beautiful pictures and smoke, and it just made it a whole different deal. It was just a different thing that you don't always, you're never going to get to experience it. It's a freaking forest fire. But
you sound so just crazy with that. People are losing their livelihood, and you're like, hey, honey, let's pull over and take a picture.
No. That's why I prefaced every time it was it's devastating. I feel so bad. But you have to make light of it. Otherwise, you're just going to sit here and cry and throw shit at the wall. Yep. I mean, these people are losing everything. It's horrible. And if you drive around there, we didn't see anything post-fire, and we didn't get up close to the fire. We were within 7 miles, but just the burnt out shit. And it looks like some of the areas of the forest have been burnt before. It must happen, but it's so dry there. You couldn't, if you flicked a cigarette out the window for you smokers out there, boom, you're burning the place up. It's crazy how dry it is. And it's just why is it so dry? What, I don't get it, but it, hopefully they're going to get it under control soon and don't lose everything, man. Cause it is just a travesty. It's gross. All righty then. So we spent the day, we took a day and went up to Estes Park, and I'm telling you, I don't know that they've gotten the memo about the pandemic yet. Cause it's, assholes to elbows everywhere. People
let's
everywhere.
All hug.
Yeah, exactly. Let's all hug. Let's all hug. You know what, though? You know what's nice about Colorado is the pot thing isn't as bad as it is in California.
Nice.
You don't smell it on every corner, every rent-a-car, every person. You can still breathe. But you know what I did when I got to Estes Park?
Oh, boy.
I slid in and purchased a couple of native blankets.
Oh, because it just reminded you how warm they were.
You know what? They're $25. They were cheap.
Oh, shit.
Yes, they're giving them away. So I picked up a pair, and oh my gosh, we had good food. But it was funny because my 14-year-old, who is going to own his own buffalo wing stand one day. We know this. This is his life. He lives.
So no YouTube. He's going buffalo wing stand. Got it.
Well, he pretty much has his number set. It's 52 million. He's going to make on his YouTube thing. Okay. And I think that the buffalo wing store is just going to be kind of a kicker. Maybe something to pay the insurance. Something like that.
Got it. Business plan.
Plus, if you have all this money from YouTube, you don't need to piss your money away. You can go to your store and eat wings. But anyway, so he orders.
As a recovering insurance guy and a property owner, I know the value of a good restoration company. When something goes wrong, you want to know you got somebody you can count on. Say you have storm damage, or it could be water, fire, any kind of damage. Don't take the insurance companies on alone. Call Grady Restoration. Let's be honest, you wouldn't go to court without a lawyer. Why would you try and deal with these huge insurance companies all by yourself? Bring in the professionals at Grady Restoration. There's a lot of pop-ups, storm chasers. Go with the company you can trust. With over 26 years in the industry, you make one call, they'll handle it all. Securing the property, the adjuster, the repairs, the paperwork, and everything in between. They've done a few projects for me, and I couldn't be happier. I didn't have to do anything. If you're not sure if you have storm damage, make the call. They'll come out, take a look, and let you know what your options are. Take the stress out of a stressful situation. Call the pros at Grady Restoration. For a free consultation, call 763-238-8127 or check them out on the web at GradyRestoration.com. Don't forget to tell them you heard about it on the DK Project.
Welcome back to the DK Project.
The first night we're there, he orders a buffalo burger, and he eats it, but he's kind of quiet. And I'm like, "How's the burger?" Yeah, it was pretty good, whatever. And so then the next night we're having pizza, and I'm like, "Hey, throw some buffalo on that, like sprinkle a little bonus buffalo on that." And he's like all happier than shit, Yay! I'm like, "What'd you think of the pizza?" "Oh, it was really good. I love the crust." Da 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 da. Well, then the next day, we go out and he orders another buffalo burger. I'm like, "Dude, hitting the buffalo hard." This is when we're in Estes Park. "Hey, you're really eating a lot of buffalo." And he goes, "Yeah, I keep thinking it's like buffalo wing sauce on a burger, and they keep bringing me out this fucking buffalo." I'm like, "Oh, dude, no, they serve buffalo here. It's not buffalo wing sauce on a burger."
That's some good meat, though. That is some damn good stuff.
It is, unless you're looking for something spicy.
Well, true, unless you're looking for like the wing sauce.
Yeah, that's what he's looking for. And even on the the pizza, it said spicy buffalo. So he thought we were getting the Mac Daddy of buffalo wing sauce on our pizza, and it wasn't. It was this old buffalo meat. Oh my gosh, hilarious to see.
That is some lean stuff.
Just to see him fold his tent like. I thought it was buffalo wing, but whatever. It happens.
So you had like the ultimate family weekend.
Oh my
man.
gosh. You know what? I was telling my wife, it's like I feel so blessed because my family, like when me and the kids and the wife get together, we just have fun. Like my kids don't fight, knock on wood. They never have. They, everybody gets along and we just laugh and we have so much fun. And, I think all in all, the 14-year-old was a little disappointed that the daughter came, but they were hanging out, having a blast and laughing. And man, I tell you, we just had a really good time. It was nice to get away. It was nice to get away because, even though I have a flexible schedule, you just don't get to spend time with your kids. You'll find this out. Once they get a little older, even my oldest kid called me and said, "Hey, I'm not coming home for Thanksgiving, and for Christmas, I don't really want to go to Colorado. I want to stay home because I want to hang out with my friends." And it's like, "Oh, okay," because I was thinking about going back out there for Christmas.
We support you.
Well, and that's just it, But so when you do get a time when you can get a couple of them together, it's so fun. It just makes you forget about all the other shit for a while.
I had no idea this was going to turn into a family show. This is my heart feels warm. I feel great. I'm ready to go out and have another kid with the wife. I mean, things are just crazy.
Well, you could go out and practice, but don't have another one.
I love practicing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You have to practice.
Doesn't, but it is what it is,
But we had a blast, and we had to say bye at the airport again, and man, I get all choked up. I hate that shit. I don't like saying goodbye. It's horrible. I like hanging out with my crew. But anyway, I got home and my house still isn't finished, so I'm just pissed, man. Ugh, it's a constant battle. We're getting the house repainted and it just goes on forever. I'm patiently waiting. It's going to happen. So, you know what? We got a little fact checker from last week. Someone wrote in. And we were discussing a movie, and the movie was Outpost with Scott Eastwood. I don't even remember what the hell we were talking about. And that
was the military movie on the hill, correct?
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
And the mayor or whatever from Texas that you couldn't think of was Beto O'Rourke.
Yes, Beto, fucking Beto. See, that's who that was.
Our listeners answer the questions that we can't. Sometimes,
oh my God, I love the listeners. I love them.
I'm telling you, people chime in and let us know what they think because we're here. We're here to inform. We're here to help. That's what we do.
Oh God,
give.
We're not here to remember Beto O'Rourke, but if you do want to see him, you can tune in to CNN and listen to a bunch of rhetoric and bullshit.
Well, we've got
with Dom Lemon.
Oh my God, you know what? I watched a little Fox News last night. And
ooh, sexy.
Well, I like that. What's her name? I kind of like her. I don't know.
Ingram. I know who you're going to say. Laura Ingram.
And she was showing some shit about, isn't it amazing how they're burying this Hunter Biden shit?
Oh my God. I want to smoke crack and get on, lose my laptop. That's what I want to do.
Nobody cares. These people are so dumb. But we're not a political show. We're not getting into it. Wake up, people. Wake up. Listen to Captain D and Sergeant Slaughter. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah, but do you really want your political to rest on what your kids are doing? I mean, they always say, don't judge me on who I am because of my kids. But at the same time, you're supposed to judge the parents on how the kids turn out.
Well, but you also need to play equally in the pool. If you're going to piss all over Trump for whatever, for 4 years, you beat him up about Russia, you beat him up about this, you beat him up about that, and now you got this confirmed hot turd sitting in the old bowl, and you're just going to look the other way? It was just like the Hillary Clinton emails. If Trump would have done it, they would have shot him. Like, you cannot have your private server. No way. But she no problem. Whatever.
I tell you what, though, on Fox, though, I am one of those. I love Laura Ingram. Tucker Carlson pisses me off. Even as one of my, being a staunch Republican, there's just something about him. He brings up excellent points, but like segments of his show make me turn it off.
Really?
And I have no idea why.
Really?
And I haven't come up with, it's so weird that, I love watching his Facebook clips and YouTube clips of it. But then if I try to watch the show, I get mad. And it's so fucking well, that's better than CNN.
I get mad
the whole time.
Well, you know what? I got an answer for you. Just turn the shit off.
Oh my God, you're so right.
You just cannot watch that shit. I block it out. I've done so well just blocking it out, but I just can't. I don't know. I just want to wake these people. I just want to shake them. Wake up, you stupid assholes. That's aggressive.
You may need another family vacation after that last episode right there.
Yeah,
my Lord.
Hey, speaking of which, in the news, young Jamie from the Joe Rogan show has come down with the COVID.
Oh, no.
Starting to pop up everywhere.
I'm telling you, when I found out that I get 14 days off paid from work, I'm out there hugging random people throughout my day. So I
made out with a guy on the train.
Yeah, I licked a dude this morning when I got to work, and I'm just like, listen, I'm okay if you're okay with it. I just want the time off work.
How do you feel about a 14-day paid vacation? Let's make out.
And you know what? And I've got to the point of my life where it's like, you know what? I need to go to work. I need to do my stuff. I got my little side stuff going on. And then I look at all these people that get to sit at home and get paid for doing nothing. And I'm like, well, wait a minute here. Where's mine at? Where's me at? So now I'm at the point where I'm like, fuck it. Just give it to me. Let me get it.
Give me
go
some.
Episode and get paid.
Take it deep. No way.
Ventilator or not, I'm getting paid. 14 days. It's happening.
That's what you're going to hear next week.
And then we'll blame it on my smoking and say it's not the COVID.
Oh yeah, you're more susceptible because you're buying cancer. You're trying to buy cancer.
Which, by the way, the ladies at the gas station have now caught on to my joke where I'm like, give me a carton of Newport short greens, cancer included, please. Don't give me none of that fake stuff.
Who smokes Newports, dude?
I do. Oh my God.
Oh man.
The brand of all brands.
Wait a minute. Middle-aged white guy, middle America. He's the only one smoking Newports in the area.
See, and first of all, I get my pick of the litter of them because you are right, a middle-aged white man who smokes Newport cigarettes. But I tell you what, for all the listeners out there, in the service, menthol cigarettes are kind of the going thing. You either smoke those or Marlboro Reds. And it just happened to be that I fell in love with them. A lot of my African-American friends, they'd always have either Cools or Newports on them. So I just went with it, and here it is.
You know what?
Smoking that hardcore.
No. You know what? Smoking Newports or Cools, you're not really smoking. I mean, that's like hey, speaking of which, when I was in Estes Park, I went into this vintage candy store. and they had racks of candy cigarettes. They had them everywhere.
My God, yes.
I'm like, dude,
the old school days.
You know what I did buy though is the 5-pack or whatever, the wacky wafers. You know, the like discs of just crushed sugar that's just compressed into I ate them all already.
Diabetic shock afterwards.
I couldn't even save them. I hit one bag on the way back from Estes Park. The other one didn't make it much longer. Hell yeah, love me some snack.
Snackies.
I'm down with that shit. That and the carameled apples. Jeez, keep me away.
We go on vacation down to Branson, Missouri.
That's
year.
Good.
So we take the family down there, do all that crap. But anyway, I love those old time country stores, the kind of what you're talking about, where you get that homemade candy. So just some of that stuff where it's like, you know what? I want to give myself some insulin when I'm all done here. But it's that kind of stuff that beats all that. Okay, well, do I want a Reese's or a Rolo today? You know, just that good old fashioned sugar stuff that my daughter just fell in love with because, of course, it's sugar. Why wouldn't she?
Right.
But, you know, I just wish more people would visit those kind of places and then A, remind you of your childhood, and B, oh my God, take me to the hospital when I'm done because my blood's gonna boil with sugar.
She'll catch up with you, that's for sure. I don't I don't often dive in deep, but when I saw those wacky wafers, I'm like, I got to get those. That just seems like fun. They had rock candy. That, it was cool. But then everybody, I own an ice cream store, and I'm in a small town, and there's not a lot of foot traffic, so I'm the only game in town. But in Estes Park, you're probably talking about a 3-block run, right? There's 3 blocks, both sides of the street. And I bet there were 7 different taffy stores. 7 different ice cream places. It's like, how do you compete? I went into this one because I was looking for a carameled apple, and there was this lady there who was like, she had to be pushing 80, kind of hunched over. She must be the owner. And I'm like, I almost felt she had like 2 carameled apples that were maybe from last year. I don't know. But I'm like, I should just buy one. I just feel so bad. Like, God, you want to take a couple hours off? I'll cover the store. I know how to run this. But it was just like, oh my gosh, there's like 8 other businesses trying to steal this lady's thunder, and she's like, oh. But I was pretty proud of my son. Speaking of which, I forgot about this. We were in Estes Park, and we went into the beef jerky outlet because that's what we do.
Oh my God, yes, I love it. Tell me more,
and
please.
We walked in there, and the last time we went through the Dells, we stopped at the beef jerky outlet and bought some beef jerky. Blah 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 blah. But they were changing hands, and now it's called something else. But anyway, we go in there and we're looking around, and my son's like, "Oh, I can't remember which one I got, but I want to look." And then he gets over to the one corner, and they have the price list. And it was like, a small personal bag was like $30. He looks at me and he goes, "I'm good. We don't need to get anything." I'm like, high five, little buddy. Way to go. This is just old meat that they added a lot of salt to, and we're not paying $30 for it. But
you got to go to a garage sale, pull out a Ronco food dehydrator.
Yes.
Start making some fucking beef jerky, brother.
You make as much fun as you want. I used to be an owner of a Ronco. And I used to make jerky.
Shit.
And I think my wife's a firm believer in, I just got tangled up in my headphone cords, almost choked to death. My wife's a firm believer in, if it's my husband's, we can throw it away at any time because we don't store any of his shit. So you can about imagine what a space-aged 8-disc Ronco food dehydrator, that shit didn't last long at all. I had a better chance of keeping my deer leg lamp than my friggin' Ronco food dehydrator.
But then I remember seeing one, and this was a long time ago. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago over at a friend's house. They had one out in their garage, and then it had it came with like 4 stacks.
Oh, yeah.
Cover. And then it had like the extra 4-stack thing to add to it. Oh my God. It was a blast from the past. Fucking Ronco. I was all like, tell me you got a pocket fisherman. Tell me, bring me back old school 1980s fun.
That's killer because that's so true. The Popeil pocket fisherman or whatever the hell it was. Ron Popeil. Hell yeah. You know what? In another business I have, I do that all day. Guaranteed not to rust, bust, collect, dust, break, your tip, or peel.
Touch my penis, have some fun. Oh my gosh.
Hello. Welcome back. I've got some guests coming up. I got some guest interviews this week. We've got a big week. We got guest interviews, and then tonight the World Series starts.
It's coming.
Thursday night, we got Dumb and Dumber talking about how they're going to run the country. I shouldn't say that. Let's show some respect.
Yeah, the clowns will be on TV again for a town hall meeting.
No, we'll just say the circus is in town. That's how they should open the representing the Democratic corner.
6'5", 250 pounds, straight from South Carolina. He's a man with a plan. Biden.
Speaking of which, that Laura Ingraham show last night. Let me see if I can pull this up quickly. They showed a clip last night of Joe Biden talking about he was doing a speech. I don't even know how I looked this up.
Was this the one with the teleprompter?
No, this was
5 people with circles around them like idiots.
No, he was in somewhere where people were like in cars and shit, and
like a drive-in movie theater.
Yeah, and they totally like when they thought something was good, they'd honk or whatever. It was just completely stupid. But I that's how his campaign things are going. Like that's what he's doing.
God.
And he had started talking about whatever was on his speech. I don't even know what it was, but it was like, oh my gosh, and people are gonna vote for this guy? It was
Lord.
ridiculous. Let me see if I can find it here quick while we're talking.
Well, I tell you what, though, I know the ones that you see a lot on Facebook and other social media platforms is, here he is talking, and they're making it look like a big group of people, and then you span out to the crowd, and all 6 of them are sitting there.
Yeah.
You're winning. You're winning right now. Yeah,
that's happened a couple of times. I what they keep pointing out is just how skewed the media is. And the media just keeps telling these people, da-da-da-da-da, and it's like, come on. It's just, you're so dumb. Yeah. Well, but we're not a political show, so let's not get into that.
How many listeners out there are like, come on, get to the good stuff.
Well,
Talk
these
about
people
the
know
clowns
what's
on
up.
Stage.
These people know what's up. So I found this Laura Ingraham thing. So listen to this. Let me know what you think. This is a Joe Biden speech.
You made the distinction between competing and winning, the heart of winning, competing, and you talked about, though, working hard and competing. And everybody, you pointed out, works hard. But you said working hard is absolutely essential. But competing is even more consequential. You can work hard, but did you compete with everything you had? My grandfather would...
What am I doing now? Are you? So you're competing to work hard? What? It's all over the fucking place. What the
He's trying to win the seat to lead the country.
About, though, working hard and competing.
Go, Joe. Go, Joe.
Yeah, I don't think the Democratic Party is concerned about working hard. They want you to win is what they want.
And everybody, you pointed out, works hard. But you said working hard is absolutely essential.
You could just play that all day long, man.
Yeah.
That is the shit.
That's kind of what I do at work. It's essential that I show up to work to get paid.
And it's not like this is rare. I mean, this is very commonplace.
You'll find them all over.
And
just stumbling.
Remember how much they used to bash the shit out of George Bush Jr. when he would like screw up a word, mispronounce a word?
It started with Michael Dukakis back in the day spelling potato wrong. That's where your listeners need to go. DKProject.com. Make sure listeners out there, making sure you look it up. Find some old clips to all the listeners out there of when they lost their shit on Dukakis with the word potato. And here we are today. And this guy can't even put a sentence together without his listeners going, what the hell is going on? President, free world leader.
Yeah, whatever. It is what it is. You don't need to know everything. It's just kind of the way the world's become, man. I'm telling you, I don't.
That's not fair. DK, that's not fair because guess what? People would not listen to the podcast if we were just mumbling words together the whole time and sounding incoherent, which once I think about it and say it out loud, it's like, no, maybe there is a group of listeners out there that would actually like that.
Isn't that what we're doing?
Yeah. Isn't that why we're here?
Hello. Hey, we got to wrap this thing up. So,
Awesome.
Out of the gate, give me your pick. Who are you going with? You going Dodgers? You going Devil Rays? You tell me.
I'm loving the Devil Rays. I've always have since 1998 when they came aboard into the MLB. It's going to be the Rays' year to win because Joe Madden's no longer there, and I still have hate from the day he left.
All right, I'm going Dodgers. We'll put the mythical 5 spot on it.
Yeah. Ooh,
yeah.
$5 make you holla.
Yeah, mythical 5 ski. What about, you want to pick how many games? How many games is it going to take?
I'm going to take 6 games, Rays 4, Dodgers 2.
Thanks for breaking that down because, if you pick the Rays and it goes 6 games, there's really only one way that's going to work.
Well,
that's
let
all
me
right.
tell you what, we got some listeners out there that may be Biden supporters and don't know how to count or put sentences together. So
they maybe have their shoes on and can't get into the big numbers.
I put the left foot on the right foot, and I can't walk.
My God. So I have this boat lift at my house that I had to move this week. So I'm picking it up, and it has these mud plates on it, that are real flat, and they sit on the ground. Yeah. And freaking right into my baseball on my leg. And I'm like, oh, then this morning I'm moving the dog kennel right into the leg. God, it's amazing how many times you hit your leg.
God, you need to calm down and just relax. Family time, I'm calling it this weekend. Here you go, DK.
I might need a little, I might need a little vacation. I might need a little 14-day paid vacation.
You just text me when you call Starship Troopers, and to all the listeners out there, make sure you're watching it as well.
And we got to go. Time is running out. Thanks again, Sergeant Schweitzer. We'll check in with you next time on the DK Project.
Take care. Stay safe. Stay sexy.
See you now.
That's it. That's the end.
That's a wrap.
Read the shtick.
That's a wrap for today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends. If you'd like to reach out, you can use the studio line at 612-504-6500 or by email, thedkprojectpodcast@gmail.com. And of course, there's always social media at the DK Project Podcast. Thanks for tuning in.